Hi there. Thank you for tuning in to what we hope to be a regular series of investor video blogs for Digimax. We get a number of questions coming our way almost on a daily basis in regular days, let alone in these tumultuous markets. And one of the common themes I've been hearing is that there's not enough information comes out in the press releases, and that people would like to hear more directly from the leaders of the company, which generally is myself as CEO of Digimax and our CTO, Thierry Hubert. So we're going to try to, a couple times a month, give you some update on where we're at, and hopefully shed a little bit more detail or shed a little more light about the detail of what's going on, so that you can have a better understanding, whether you're a prospective investor, whether you're just a CryptoHawk user, or whether you are a shareholder for a very long time. Overall, before I get started, I'm going to read actually a few questions that have been brought our way. But before I get started, just a couple of general comments about where we're at and where the markets are at. Obviously, we all know that markets are a bit tumultuous right now. Inflation's soaring. We're seeing markets dropping across the board, blue chip stocks, certainly mid caps and micro cap stocks alike. In the crypto world, which I know that Digimax is highly associated with, we've seen most stocks that are related to crypto or crypto in any way having dropped 50 to 90% from their highs. And unfortunately, we're one of those companies. But unlike a lot of these companies, we are not burning cash at a high rate, and therefore we're feeling pretty good about the development work that we are doing. So without going into too much more sort of general detail, I'm going to read off some of these questions, and I'm going to try to give you guys some answers. And then I would encourage you to continue to, as is happening all the time anyways, tell us what your questions are through the various forums that we have. And every couple of weeks, we're going to try to come on, whether it's myself and Thierry, or Thierry on his own, and try to give you some of that insight. I guarantee you before we even start that I'm never going to answer every single person's questions, but we're going to do our best to reach as many of these as we can. So that said, let me go through these and we'll see how that works. Number one question, and here we are on February 24th, having just put out our CryptoHawk update press release this morning. So some of these are related to that. Today you announced that CryptoHawk Fund is being closed. This was a big opportunity for Digimax, so why are you doing it? And I've seen that question a few times come my way. And first of all, what the press release said was that we are suspending the fund, not closing it. We started the fund on September 1, and while there was a good month in October that recovered from a bad month in September, we really have seen crypto prices and Bitcoin and Ethereum specifically really not do anything but drop in price all the way through. And so we've kind of been in this bearish market through that period. And while we have a number of larger funds and institutions very curious about what we're able to do, and while at the same time we're able to usually generate some profitability in negative markets, or at least accumulate more coins as we short them, there has not been a lot of interest in funds diving in and deploying new capital into a fund like we have. But at the same time, there's a certain amount of capital it costs to get that fund organized and ready to go in Cayman, but there's also a monthly cost that is not that low. I'd equate it to a couple of employees worth of costs. And so we've looked at it and said, listen, we know what we're doing. We like the product, but we're not attracting new funds to that in this marketplace. So we are going to suspend it. We're just basically going to push the pause button. And that way we're not going to be incurring these monthly costs. And until such time as that we see new capital getting deployed into the market, what we would be able to do then is turn the button back on, and hopefully we'll be able to start attracting a lot of capital to that fund. So we haven't abandoned anything, but we're going to stop incurring the monthly costs. So that's my answer to that question for now. These are completely unrelated questions, so I just have 8 of them here, and I'm going to go right through them. The second one is Brock Pierce still on our advisory board? And if so, how come he's not promoting things? Well, he is on the board, advisory board. An advisory board is a lot different than, a consultant or employee who's involved day to day in the business, and certainly not on the board of directors, which are people who help, with the strategy of the company. But we're doing a number of things in behind the scenes, and we do believe that that involvement will increase, and the public face of that involvement will increase. And you've got to understand that there are two elements to that. There's the input that comes, sort of inside the company and helping us form direction. And there's the, I think what people are looking for with this question is the retweeting or reposting of some of the things that we're doing. We've got a few things that are about to come out into the market that are complementary to the CryptoHawk product that we have now. We alluded to that reasonably specifically in our year-end update and 2022 outlook. And so I think that as those things happen, and hopefully those are going to happen over the next couple of months, that sort of public face involvement should start to increase. I don't want to make any guarantees, but I think you'll see that start to happen. So we're pretty excited about those things that are coming out in the next couple of months. And I think that that's going to, further help what CryptoHawk is doing and the number of followers it's going to have. But we're going to be branching off into a second area related to coins and NFTs, not issuing our own coin or NFTs right now, but I think that will bring this whole environment that we're in and bringing good quality information and analytics to people who are involved in those markets. I think people are going to see it very valuable, and the input and feedback we've been getting from participants in that market as we're developing those products has been really good. So we're kind of excited about what's coming, and there'll be more news on that over the next 30 to 45 days. So question 3 here is, can you please tell me if the Bit deal is still in the works or if it's dead? And it's been quite a while since we've heard anything. Sorry, BitGet, the BitGet deal, if I said that wrong. BitGet, first of all, is an exchange. The people who are running it are based in primarily in Asia, but it's a global exchange. And we did announce, I believe it was somewhere September, October of 2021, that we were going to do a cooperative or collaboration agreement with them. And what that really meant was making our respective user bases aware of each other and giving those collective users opportunities to learn more about the other's products. We went to do that when we first announced it, and we ran into some difficulties because BitGet was not really available in North America at that time, and it was causing more confusion than it was bringing benefit. And so we've been working through that with them, and BitGet has cleared through those issues themselves. They're a fantastic company. I think at the time they were rated as number 6 as far as the largest volume, daily volume of trading on their exchanges. And now they're at number 3, I understand. And they are a really strong and good company. We think very highly of them. We've been on with them over the last few weeks as we've been bringing our mobile app to market. And as of this week, we are relaunching that program. And over the next week or 10 days, you'll see a bigger presence of BitGet in our app and on our websites. And CryptoHawk is going to start to have the same presence in their websites. We think, and they've reviewed it, and they like the CryptoHawk tool, making it available for traders. And it is just that, it's a tool. And we love the idea that, for people who are coming in who are fairly new and looking for a new exchange, that they should understand what BitGet offers. And that could be the exchange that they choose to use. So lots of things happening there. And I think you'll see that finally growing. And I know that some people have been frustrated that didn't happen sooner, but we had some technical issues and some of their jurisdictional issues to work through, but that's done now. So question 4 here, to better use CryptoHawk Signals, is it correct to think that I should wait for the best moment according to my technical indicators for a buy position? I might reformulate that question to say, should I rely solely on CryptoHawk, or should I bring technical analysis into it as well? And my personal answer would be absolutely the latter. CryptoHawk is intended to bring artificial intelligence, AI, into the mix of your decision making as to what you want to do, and whether you are an hour-to-hour trader as a day trader, or whether you are a swing trader, which may be an older term, but somebody who likes to trade every few weeks or so, or whether you are just on the spot and you want to do something in an hour and then go to bed. we have information available for all of those types of traders. And the best traders are traders that do two things. One, they have an idea of what their entry point and what their exit point is going to be, and the reasons behind that, or call it a trading strategy. And secondly, they gather as much information as they can possibly gather and look for corroboration among those different pieces of information. So even though our AI incorporates a certain amount of technical analysis, and then we also look at all these other databases of information and look for correlations, if you're doing your own technical analysis, excuse me, on top of that, by all means, use both. And when you see both of them pointing in the right direction, then jump on it. You know? So in short, my answer is, if you've got other information sources available other than just CryptoHawk, look for correlations between the two and do it then. If you're just relying on CryptoHawk, well, we bring in a lot of that information as well. And especially on shorter term trades like our long short or on our Altcoin Radar, those signals are intended to be able to be acted on, and more times than not, you should be able to make a profit off of them. Excuse me. So number 5, do we have any white papers or documents that analyze or compare our previous performance? We have an awful lot of information, and because we've now been operating since last February, which is actually, I think as of today, February 24th, 2021 was the day we launched CryptoHawk. Isn't that interesting? And so in that last year, we've accumulated an awful lot of data. And we do make that available to our users through our advanced program. So we have really now 3 ways that you can be a user of CryptoHawk. You can download it on the app and you can get access to it for free. You can be a basic member and therefore get notifications of every time one of our 3 programs or feature programs indicates that it's time to make a trade, and those can be sent either to your mailbox, your email, sorry, or your text. And then our third sort of feature is our advanced feature group, and there you get access to all the back data and some of the other analytical tools that aren't available in the other 2. So the sort of the back data is available for any sophisticated user to use, and it could be very valuable, even though it is $99 a month, although there's a much better deal if you sign up for the year, because it probably more than pays for itself in its first couple of trades. As far as white papers, we have a number of documents that are on our website, and there's more and more coming all the time. And I encourage you to go and look at what you can download there to get a better idea of our entire business plan. So hopefully that answers the question. And if it doesn't, ask it again. And when we come up again 2 weeks from now, we'll try to do a better job of answering. Back into number 6 here. We love the CryptoHawk product, but curious to know what the roadmap is for CryptoHawk. What are some of the new features we should be expecting to see? Well, at this stage, I think we've delivered on everything that we had said a year ago we would be bringing to market. Real quick history on that. We introduced our basic long short in the product called Crypto Divine 1 year ago today. And we converted that into CryptoHawk on June 1 of last year. And at that time, we said that we would be bringing out the 3 feature groups: the long short, which is what Crypto Divine was from the beginning, a trend watch, which I believe was introduced soon after CryptoHawk was introduced on June 1 last year, and then Altcoin Radar, which really deals with the sub 100 market cap coins and those things that our AI, our future-oriented and future-looking AI, believes are poised to make a big run in the short term. We don't expect to make a lot of additional or add a lot of additional features to those 3 over the next several months or even a year. We do, however, constantly use our machine learning to make these products better. And so there's a lot of work going on that right now. We have a small data scientist team who's looking at each of these things to try to find these correlations that are working more and update the algorithms. And we will be doing that on a constant basis, even though there's not necessarily any new features. So hopefully I've answered that question. We're going to continue to make CryptoHawk better, but I don't think you're going to see a lot of different things happening in the near term. So number 7 of the 8 questions. I'm new to crypto and just learning about CryptoHawk. I'm super interested in Altcoin Radar. How accurate are our prediction calls? accuracy is one thing, and having a strong discipline in the way you trade is a second part to the way that this question gets answered. So if you're brand new to something, and I don't care whether you're a billionaire or whether you're got $1,000 or $500 left at the end of the month after paying rent, when you first start to trade, you should always trade with a much smaller position on each trade, or a much smaller size of a trade than you think you want to do longer term. It's call it practicing, call it getting into a zone, but you do the things you think are the right trades, but do them in a small way, so that if it doesn't work out quite the way you thought as a novice investor, you kind of blow your own bank, and therefore not have an opportunity that once you've learned your lessons, you don't have anything left to start making money with. So that's rule number one, I would say, as a novice trader. I think the second one, though, is, especially with Altcoin Radar, it's intended to help people who like to trade these types of things, and there are tons of investors who do, and there are tons of investors who make a lot of money at this, to help them find one more source of information about when it might be the right time. And so even in our own press release today, I think we talked about 15 or so real successes that we've had in the last 30 days. Not every time that we indicate that something is blipping in Altcoin Radar, meaning we think it's poised to go, not every one of those is going to take a big run. And in fact, sometimes it could go the opposite direction. And the very best way to manage that is two things. Go in and have a target of, hey, if I can get 25% in a day, I'm out, and if I miss the next 75% that it went up, well, so be it, at least for a couple of times until you get used to it. But at the same time, definitely have a stop loss in mind. And whether you set that up the moment you trade, and we do that when we trade our crypto for our funds and what have you, is if you go in with a trade and you buy a position, then you can also set up a sell on the same, whatever exchange you're using, at say 10% below that position. So that, what should happen then is, if the thing does drop on you instead of go up, the maximum you're going to lose is 10%. But if you leave the upside open, you have 25% upside or 50% upside to wherever you decide to use it. So using stop losses, whether they just be your mental stop loss or whether they be something you book at the very same time that you book your trade, is a great way to ensure that you're protecting your downside. And then meanwhile, you can hopefully enjoy some of the positive signals that we get, and capture some of these big upsides. So again, may or may not have answered the question properly, but ask it again if we haven't. But for novice users especially, and frankly for all users, including sophisticated traders, the use of stop losses is really important, because saying I've had all my life is protect the downside and the upside will take care of itself. And it doesn't exactly take care of itself, but you keep the upside open and sort of an infinite opportunity on the upside, but always cap your losses quickly and try again when everything sets itself up again. And that way you'll be having lasting power and you'll be able to continue to try. And so the last question here, some of my favorite coins are not included in CryptoHawk. I suspect that is the Altcoin Radar. Are there plans to expand into other cryptocurrencies? So I'm going to address this question from the Altcoin Radar perspective, and if I've missed it again, let us know and we'll address it on the next call or in the next video. But with respect to Altcoin Radar, our goal is to be carrying about 200 of the altcoins that are, as I mentioned, below the top 100 market cap. So these are the smaller coins. We do a number of things in terms of our research before we bring a coin into that list of 200. And we try to ensure that there is some credibility behind that there's a corporation, that there's, it's not just a quick flash in the pan. And then also, as these things move up and down, some of them have staying power and some of them don't. These altcoins are a very short-term game, and we all have to recognize it. And so on any given month or any given week, we may introduce new coins into that mix, and we may take some coins off that list. So it's a constantly evolving list. And I think that's really the only way I can answer that question right now. As far as expanding beyond, say, a list of 200, At present, no. I think the idea there is we're trying to take what we see as the 200 that are most active, and we're always going to miss a few, and people are always going to be able to come back and say, well, yeah, hey, why didn't you have that coin on the list? Well, there's almost an infinite supply these days of new ones entering the market. And we're trying to continually build out the AI to go and find those. But what we're trying to do is bring good quality ideas to the table that people can act on. And if that coin that made it onto our list is no longer hitting all the criteria for why it got on the list in the first place, it's going to get removed just as quickly. So again, hopefully I've answered the question, but happy to address it on our next round here. So that's where we're at with sort of answering most of the questions we see as being what we've been asked, and then what's high on people's minds. I hope I'm helping with this. In general, as a conclusion, we're really excited about the way things are going. Maybe we're guilty a little bit of having been a bit too enthusiastic about how quickly we could grow of CryptoHawk last year, but we're definitely on the track that we wanted to be. And it has been a tough market for the last 4 or 5 months since September, but we're gaining traction even in those tough markets. And I'd say that means that we're really well poised to do well if and when, and we believe the when crypto markets take off again. They are a great alternative to fiat currency. They are a great alternative to even gold, and as a holding, and because they're volatile, they're a great thing to be trading in. So we really believe in this market, even though it's been undergoing some tough times, and we're excited about what CryptoHawk can do, and we're really excited about the things that we're going to be bringing out over the next 4 to 6 weeks that are complement CryptoHawk. And I think our final comment I'll make is one that was in the press release. We're also working on products that are outside of the cryptocurrency world. And I think that shareholders should be happy that we are diversifying away from crypto, and we'll be starting to see some revenue growth in those areas as well, both with new products and some of the products we've been talking about for a year that have been a bit longer sales cycle, but we're starting to see some traction in as well. So final comment, I guess, would be the same pretty much as what we said in our press release. We're in a very strong position cash-wise. We're managing our spending, our monthly spending, very well. CryptoHawk was not inexpensive to get on the market the way it is now, but a lot of those costs, those development costs, are going to be going down by 80 or 90%, and being maintained at that level. And so our monthly cash spend is going to be relatively low. The cash we have in the bank is relatively high. And as we grow these revenues, we're definitely aiming to be a break-even or better company by the end of this year. So that's where we're at. Happy to take the responses in the various forms that they come, and hopefully this has been worthwhile. And if it is, we'll do it again in a couple of weeks. Thanks, everyone, and good luck in all of your trading, and stay happy in tough times. Bye-bye.